Camp has impacted my life in many, many ways. I first came to camp when I was a little kid in junior high, and coming back every year was just amazing for me. It encouraged me to see all the speakers and all the kids interacting and learning more about God. When I was around 15 or 16, I really felt a call to be more active in my faith, and coming to camp and seeing the speakers, I wanted to be more like that. I started teaching Bible studies at my church. I became a youth leader. I led missions work into Los Angeles, and ever since then, my faith has been growing and growing, and I just want to share it with everyone I meet.
Cabin time at Camp AREV is such an amazing time because you get to reflect on everything you learned about God that day in a really close, tight circle of people that you trust, and that's really where you get to ask all your questions and get to know everyone more and get to know God more, and really grow closer to everyone in your cabin and strengthen your walk with Christ.
My favorite part about Camp AREV was the zip line, the food, and the cabins were very comfortable, and I like the games, and I like learning about Jesus.
Asking me to pick out my favorite memory from Camp AREV is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. There are too many great memories to choose from, and that's because every single moment, every single second is a blessing at Camp AREV. And that's because of the amazing atmosphere of the campers and the counselors, and just the overall feel is just centered around our love of Christ. And to me, that's the most valuable thing ever because it strengthens our bonds with each other and our connection with God.
Camp AREV's been a huge impact in my life, and it's definitely helped me grow in my faith. Most important thing I've learned from camp is just having a heart of service. Being a counselor has really helped me serve in my community back home, with my church, and just everywhere in life. And the friends I've made there I'll know for the rest of my life, and they're some of the closest people I've ever been fortunate enough to meet.
So the first time I came to Camp AREV, I was already pretty old. I was a senior in high school, and I didn't know many people, but something that really touched me was how sincerely and wholeheartedly the counselors and the staff members were willing to serve and be with the kids and show them Christ's love. And it was beautiful for me, and I hope that I will be able to do the same to the new generation of kids now.
Camp AREV it's where I found Christ. Camp AREV, there's so many fun activities. We go to a lake, we do zip lining, archery. We have tug of war in a mud pit, which is, everyone just enjoys that. We have a lot of free time where you can do whatever you'd like. The worship is amazing. The bands, they play so well. The speakers, they just teach such powerful lessons to the kids at camp. I see myself in the future, hopefully as a counselor, where I could show other people God's love towards them.
So Camp AREV has greatly impacted my life. I've been going ever since I was, the first year that you could go. And I remember when I was 7 years old, by the end of the week, I remember walking back from the fire pit and looking up into the skies and seeing all the stars. And it reminded me of a song that I had learned earlier in that week. And one of the lines was, "He put the stars in the sky and he knows them by name." And that was the moment that I think, I understood how big the universe is and how powerful God actually is. And from then on, I started accepting so much more and understanding so much more the Word of God. I also, ever since then, I looked forward to coming to camp, and I had, such great experiences throughout my time there. And I think that the biggest takeaway from camp is, how many friends you make and how many connections that you make from there, and how you can take that back to your real life when you come home. So you basically have camp everywhere. You text your friends, you hang out with them. You have a community of Christian friends that Camp AREV has, created for me, and that's